Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron.
And my name is Mike.
And I'm Jeff.
And welcome to the AMPED Golf Podcast. How are the two of you doing today?
Good. My camera is not focusing for some reason. Focus.
I know you look a little blurry. You look like you're a ninja podcaster, like you don't want to be seen.
It's cold. I finally turned the heat on in my house.
Ooh, the heat's been on for a while here. Sorry.
No, we were really just kind of roughing it there for a little while.
Yeah.
Finally, yesterday, I was like, okay, we got to turn the heat on. It's cold in here.
We're not as bad as some people in the country, so we're better off than some, and we're worse than others. We've dropped down into the 30s at night, and rain and wind and cold, and all around us, there's been snow.
Yeah, Fort Wayne got snow.
Yeah,
they did. So, knock on something, wood, that we don't get any snow here because we don't like that S word.
Well, not this early.
Yeah, it's pretty early for all this crap. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend though. So we're going to play some golf and we're going to have some fun. I just wanted to give a shout out to my other son, Adam, and his beautiful bride, Cassie, for their anniversary. And Adam also turned 31 yesterday. So Congratulations to the two of you. Love you guys.
Congratulations.
And, you're in Colorado, so you're far away, but I know you're watching and listening. We appreciate it. Also, 170 days till the Masters and 68 days till Christmas.
Ugh.
68 days till Christmas. Just so all you procrastinators know.
That's crazy.
Right. We had a great weekend, actually. Is it the Zozo or the Zoza?
Zoso, I think it is.
Zoso?
Yeah, I think so. Oh no, Zozo. Zozo. Probably the Zozo.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced, but it was held this week or last weekend. And Keegan Bradley. Who had Keegan Bradley the week before? Was it, or 2 weeks before?
Me. He pulled out for me then too. Like he still did really good. So I think he came in like 5th place. He didn't win, but still, Yeah,
he didn't win, but he did win this one. It's his first win since the BMW Championship. Back like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. So he also has a major under his belt, the 2011 PGA, but he takes home over 1.7 million, which would have been great for Aaron. And that week he picked him.
It's okay.
Yeah, he finished really strong. He said he played some of his best golf down the stretch and one of the best holes of golf you've ever played. And he beat Ricky Fowler by one shot.
Which again, I was so not disappointed, but I was sad for Ricky. However, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more, but going back to Butch Harmon seems to be paying dividends already. This is the closest he's come to winning a tournament in a long time.
So last year, Ricky played in 22 events and scored 340 FedEx Cup points. And this year he's played in 3 events and has 337 FedEx Cup points.
Yeah.
So definitely something in the water that's helping him out. I think the change has been good for him. He even congratulated Tom Kim's caddy, who was his old caddy last week on the W, and was very happy for him. He just seems to be a genuinely nice guy, and his game's coming together. So
I hope it comes together. He's one of the people that I want to see do well. I think he has such a huge fan base. People really like seeing him there on the weekend and like watching him play. It would be great to see him on the leaderboards a little bit more. It'd be great to see him back at Augusta in a few months. That would be awesome.
It would be. And it's probably too early to say this, but the talk is already there, right? Is Ricky back? It's only 3 events. I think we got to push the brakes a little bit here, pump him, and see what he does over the next 5, 6, 7 tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
If he's continuing to show up and be there, Ricky's back, right? Yeah. And let's all party.
Yeah, well, I really think getting those swing changes kind of under control and going back to the tried and true formula that worked for him for so long when he was on the tour earlier. I don't know why people try to fix things that aren't broken. He was doing really well. He was on his way to maybe winning a major, and then he left Butch, and he completely fell off. after that. It was almost like that was what made him, fall off the way he did.
Well, Butch is a tremendous coach. I mean, the results that he's gotten with a multitude of golfers speak for themselves. So
Yeah.
it definitely is a common denominator when you have that kind of coach. It's he's kind of like the Nick Saban of the golf world, right? Like you can't argue with Nick Saban's results in college football. Well, you can't hardly argue with Butch Harmon's results in golf either.
Right.
So.
I mean, he's been the number one golf pro, or coach for as long as I can remember ever.
Yeah.
He's always consistently number one. So
between him, Hank Haney, Ledbetter, the other guy that we like, Aaron
George Gankis.
Yeah. There's a variety out there. Now the basis or the philosophy is probably pretty similar among all of them. The way they teach it is different. The words they choose is probably different. But I agree. I think that he's a big, loud, personable, full of life and energy guy too. So I think that fits Ricky better than somebody that's really low key, because not that Ricky's big and loud, but I think he needs that in his life. So it's a good fit. I like it. And I hope it continues to go well for him. We all want to see him succeed, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially when I pick him in the one and done. That's when I really, really want to see him succeed. I haven't burned that card yet. So
he's out of my pool. So
Aaron and Jeff both had Step Straka last week, who finished in the tie for 45th and won them 26,637. Tony had Hideki, who finished tied for 40th, which was worth 40,260. I had Tommy Fleetwood who finished tied for 53rd. It got me $22,586. So the standings remain unchanged. I'm in first place by a wide margin due to my lucky pick of Tom Kim for the win.
Yeah.
Lucky pick. I totally admit it. Absolutely.
It's all luck. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
all it really is, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Aaron's in second, 1.2 million behind. Jeff's in third, 1.3 million behind, and Tony's in fourth, 1.4 million behind. So I don't have Tony's pick yet for this week, but this week is the CJ Cup. And I misspoke last week when I said that the Zozo was probably the strongest field. This is definitely the strongest field before the end of the year.
Yeah.
78 player, no cut event, total purse of 10.5 million, 500 FedEx points to the winner. Rory won it last year with a score of 25 under. And also up for grabs this week is the world number one ranking. So according to Twitter's resident official world golf ranking guru, Nosferatu, McIlroy sits at 8.81 average points, needs a win or solo second and some help from Scotty, who's at an average of 9.39 to reach number one for the first time since July 2020.
Cool.
So he could do it if he shows up and Scotty doesn't, which would be interesting.
Yes,
I saw Rory. Rory was back in the field. He's not my pick by any stretch this part of the game,
right?
But did see him, and it'll be interesting to see.
There's a lot. I mean, everyone's there. It looks like.
Yeah. Christian Bezenho, Keegan Bradley, Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, Corey Connors, Cam Davis, Matty Fitzpatrick's playing, Fleetwood, Fowler, Glover, Brian Harmon, Terrell Hatton, Tom Hoagie, Max Homa's in this one, Billy Horschel's in it, Victor Hovland, Sanjay M. So it's a stacked. Hideki's playing again. I'm not going to pick anybody that played in Japan and is coming back over here to play this one. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. The time change is pretty drastic and it takes a lot of effort. And here's the great thing about the Zozo, from what I heard from the players, it's one of their favorite spots because of the food.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So you're getting ramen and Wagyu beef and sushi, and the time change is significant enough where they land and they have to stay up for a long time in order to try to get the clock reset so that they can perform. I'm probably giving away something here, but probably not. You guys are pretty smart. I'm not picking anybody that played last week in the Zozo, so can't do it. What do you guys think? Who you guys got this week?
You start us off, Jeff.
I don't want to start us off, Jeff. I haven't really made a pick yet. I'm going to go with Sanjay M, probably because I'll forget about him for the rest of the year. And I'd forget to pick him for anything else. So let's take him for this one. We'll see how he does.
Nice. Aaron, what do you got?
I am
As
gonna
you
go,
look at the list.
well, okay. So I was gonna change it, but I'm gonna stick with Siwoo Kim.
I thought about him,
Kim.
actually.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm going with Scott Stallings.
There you go.
Okay.
I was gonna pick Sam Burns, but I really want to hold out for a bigger tournament for him because I think he has that potential to win a big one this year at some point. So not necessarily like a major maybe, but one of the bigger tournaments that they're shelling out some big prize money for.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that strategically storing some people on your bench for when the bigger stuff comes up, and there's some other stuff we'll talk about with some more elevated events that were announced today. A little preview for you: the WM Phoenix Open has been elevated to one of those events, so they're going to get the $20 million prize purse, and it's one of the events everybody will be at this year. So that's pretty spectacular.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be a good event this week if you get a chance this weekend, if you get a chance to watch it. Again, you don't get to see the top players all together all that often. It's going to happen more this year, so that's great, minus some of the LIV players that we're missing from the tour. And we're looking forward to that. But really something spectacular happened last weekend, Jeff. Really spectacular.
I know it. The drought is
your
over.
favorite golfer won. Lexi Thompson brings it home, right? So
she did actually, and she was in the lead at the end of the day on Saturday, and went out hot on Sunday. Well, okay, so first of all, Lexi always goes out hot, but that being said, she went out on fire on the golf course, and I think she birdied 3 of the first 4 or 4 of the first 5, something like that. Nelly tried to make a run for it, but Nelly never really got it together on the front 9. Did better on the back, but Lexi ends up bringing it home. So I'm very happy for Lexi. Here's an interesting statistic. So Lexi hasn't won a tournament since 2018 on any tour, right? Still ranked 8th in the world. That's how much golf she plays and how well she does.
That's
lots
crazy.
Of top 10 stuff, right? To keep that 8th place ranking for 4 years.
Absolutely.
Wait to win a tournament. So yeah,
absolutely. She's the ultimate journeywoman if you think about it that way, right?
Yep.
Playing enough
golfer. Yep.
Playing enough and playing well enough to continue to maintain a ranking that is going to pay pretty well for her. So congratulations, Lexi. Love to see you do it. Little bit of a controversy with them playing in the Aramco Team Series in New York. So it's a Saudi-based oil company that's in charge of this. And everybody's like, ooh, LPGA in Saudi Arabia. Give it a rest. It's not happening. That's not what this was about.
Right.
And Nelly and Lexi were both asked about their involvement with LIV, and they're saying it's a non-story. There's no involvement with LIV right now. We're focused on the next event and what's going on, and we're not going to get into this discussion at the moment. So I applaud them for at least addressing it like that, because if I remember correctly, the LPGA commissioner said she would be more than willing to sit down with Greg and see how it fits.
Yep, she did say that. She said she's open to a conversation. I think that the players themselves will stay clear of it, just like Lexi and Nelly did, and let the commissioner work whatever she wants to work. But the commissioner has also been very public in saying, even if there is something that's going on, it will be with the consent and advice of the players. So I think it's been a different approach than His Majesty Monahan, and that's how it's going to go.
I agree. So Brooke Henderson finished 3 shots back, and so did Madeline Sagstrom. So Brooke has had a stellar year. I think she's up for Player of the Year honors this year if she performs well. I do know that the next 2 events, I believe, are overseas in Asia, and a lot of the players are skipping those events and waiting for it to come back to Florida. So the women travel a lot. We talked about that last week or the week before. They are really on the road a ton. So I don't blame them for taking a couple weeks off and not doing that travel. So DP World Tour had an interesting finish. Adrian Otagui won the Andalusia Masters at Valderrama on Sunday. Now, Adrian was a LIV golfer. He was not a signed to a contract LIV golfer, but he played in the first 3 events and was one of the 3 pros, Poulter and Harding were the other 2, who got an injunction to be able to play in the Scottish Open from the courts overseas.
Yeah.
Right. So he's been playing in the DP World Tour and he won.
Nice.
Interesting.
Huge.
Yeah.
Because before this, he would not have been considered in the top 20 on LIV Golf. Now with this win, he would be considered a top 20 player, and he's not signed to a contract. So he has to wait till February. That's when the case goes to court and everything will be decided with them in LIV. But there's even more controversy because players on LIV and other players are contending that he did not get the TV coverage he should have received winning this tournament. And it was intentionally omitted from most of the coverage because of his ties to LIV Golf.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. Like how severe were the cuts that they made? Like, did they just like not show any of his shots until the 18th hole when he won it, or?
It was severe enough for multiple pros to go on LIV and not on LIV to complain about it and say, "What the hell are you doing?" So,
wow.
If it's come down to that, then yeah, there's a case to be made there for him, I think.
I mean, I didn't see it either. So I'm with Aaron. I can't comment on it directly. So, I'm secondhand here, but that's dirty pool. You're just going to keep the guy off TV just because
right.
You want to be spiteful.
Yeah.
His brother is out there tweeting quite a bit about it and calling for Keith Pelly, who's the head of the DP World Tour. He's calling for his head pretty much, saying that they have to go. He has to go. So.
I love me some Twitter warriors, man. They're the best.
They are.
I've been on Twitter more, and it's just the most toxic place in the whole world.
It's terribly toxic.
The loudest minority of people you could possibly have, just venting all the most toxic opinions. Oh, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read a lot of it, but I try to. I try not to tweet.
I just try to tweet positive stuff about what we're doing. I mean, I'm not going to get drugged down into the sludge of Twitter and have to get into a war with somebody. It's just not worth it anymore. Aaron, if you would do me a favor while I bring up this next topic, look up LIV Golf money won to date. There's a chart out there that shows what everybody's won so far playing LIV Golf. I think it's pretty interesting. Speaking of LIV, Brooks wins.
Brooks won?
He won. So
finally,
he's only 32. And for some reason, I thought he was closer to 35, but he's only 32. But he finally won again. So he got a tie for 8th last week, gets this win, and it's his first win since the 2021 Phoenix Open. He spoke at length afterwards about how his body is finally starting to heal. Remember, he just destroyed his kneecap where his foot was like turned the opposite direction because of that. And he had hip problems, things like that. He was just really struggling, and he thought he was never going to win again. He thought his career might be over. So to put this into perspective, he gets $4.75 million for his win because the team won, which means his brother gets, $750,000 as well.
Cool.
And his brother gets a Lamborghini.
Nice.
Yeah. Brooks made him a promise. If we win the team event, I'll buy you a Lamborghini.
That's pretty awesome.
So,
well, he's got to take 250,000 of his 4.75 million to land a Lamborghini for his brother.
And just take that off the top.
Yeah.
Is Brooks the older brother or the younger brother?
Older brother.
Older brother.
So
yeah.
So we're going into the season-ending event. I believe it's in 2 weeks at Trump Doral, where like $80 million or some ridiculous amounts on the line. 50 million. I don't remember. It's just
crazy.
A lot of money,
That's
right?
Insane.
Brooks wins $4 million. Peter Uline, who came in second, wins 2.1. Joaquin Neiman 1.2 with Sergio Garcia, who is still whining and complaining about how people in Europe don't want him, and I can't play on the Ryder Cup team now.
I'm going to be honest. It's just at some point, if you, it's just at some point you're the asshole, right? Like if you can't complain about everybody not wanting you around,
Yeah.
when it's just your own actions and your own problems that you're creating for yourself. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat Perez finished dead last.
All kinds of stunning news.
Yeah. Gets $124,000. And
I
Pat Perez has won over $4 million so far this year playing for LIV Golf.
Yep.
Martin Kaymer and Kevin Na, who withdrew from the event, each won $121,000.
Nice.
Wait a second. Okay. I'm just saying, if LIV needs golfers that withdraw and they still pay,
I will play.
I'm the guy.
I'll play.
I'm all in for that.
Yeah, I'll play, 54 holes of golf. It'll be a great watch. You can watch me hit crazy fat shots and I'll blade some stuff over the green, It'll be a spectacle. And if I get to walk out of there dead last with $100,000, I'm about it. Invite me.
I'm good.
You want to see a push? Watch this push.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to give 3
That's
fairways over. Thanks.
So
I know, but God. Did you find it?
Yeah, so there's just I'll read off the first 10. So number one's Dustin Johnson. Obviously, he's earned $31.5 million this year, and he got an $18 million bonus for being the 2022 LIV individual champion. Brandon Grace earned $15.5 million, got an $8 million bonus for finishing second. Peter Uline, $11 million, got a $4 million bonus. Patrick Reed is fourth. Charles Schwartzel is fifth. Brooks Koepka is sixth. They've all won more than $6 million. And 10th is Sergio Garcia with $5.3 million and 7 events played.
That's $5.2 million more than his game's worth watching.
It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So I understand the money is an extreme lure, and I would be hard pressed to turn money like that down. I don't fault them for doing it, but it's an obscene amount of money.
A lot of money.
How many events have they played?
7.
6, 7?
7 this year.
Yeah.
7. Yeah.
Phil Mickelson is. Hold on, I had to scroll really far down here for this one.
Poor Phil.
He is 30th or something, and 37th. He's won 1.5 million. Yeah,
That's crazy.
So there's the lure for these guys who can't get it started on the PGA Tour because there's so many golfers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the lure.
Yeah,
I do too. It's just an obscene amount of money. Once you start seeing how much they've won in the events they've played for, and here's the thing. I don't fault any athlete for getting as much money as you possibly can. If they're willing to pay you, take it.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's an obscene amount of money. And it doesn't mean I'm bagging on you or trying to be Debbie Downer. That's not it at all. $30 million or however much DJ won for 7 events is fucking crazy.
So
I don't know another way to put it. It's crazy.
PGA, okay, this is a spoof PGA Tour account on Twitter, but they tweeted, so Dustin Johnson's made $31,637,767 in total earnings. That's $4.5 million per event, $1.5 million per round, $83,698 per hole, or $22,280 per shot he has earned on LIV Golf.
There's something fundamentally wrong with that. I tell you, it's hilarious though.
So
and
crazy.
You know what? If you can get it, it's a good gig if you can get it, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's so obscene. It's almost dirty.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do last night? I watched DJ's money totals rack up, and ooh, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that chart you're looking at has it, but is there a total payout that they paid out on that chart? Like, is there a total at the bottom? Does it say that means LIV Golf has paid out blah?
It doesn't, but I'm sure I could do the math and get everything together for next week after going through 70 people.
I'm sure it'd be fun, easy to find.
Yeah, the 2021-22 season for the PGA Tour was $420 95 million in total purse out of all of their events, right? So $500 million, a lot of money, but there's quite a few events.
Right.
So I'd be curious to see. I mean, it's going to be funsy numbers, but when you got Justin at 41 already or whatever it is.
It says only 170. So this, again, this is just the first search that I saw. It says only 175 million has been paid out in prize purses, along with 30 million in bonuses.
So $205 million so far paid out.
In seven events.
Seven events.
And they still have the tour champion, the LIV championship to go
Right.
in 2 weeks.
Right.
Which is a massive
insane.
one.
So still a lot. That's a lot of money.
It's a $600 billion fund they're drawing from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
endless. I mean, it's
$600 billion.
Bottomless. It's, it's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, to put that in perspective, that is larger than the economies of all but about 5 countries in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, yep. It's crazy. I mean, 175 million is a big number, but if you put that next to 600 billion, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket. It is a drop of water into an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah.
And the head of the fund apparently has said that if our players are not allowed to play in the majors, we're going to create our own. They're going to create their own majors for their players.
Well, I mean, go with God. They won't be the they won't be the majors that we're used to seeing. Because I mean, the Masters. Come on, the players.
We're going to make our own majors for our players. I love that one. And he said that the heads of the tours are all out of touch with business. So I don't know that he's wrong there, because I still think, some kind of a venture where everybody plays in the sandbox together would be better for everyone, especially us, the golf fans, because there are some players I'm going to miss watching. I'm not just going to watch a lot of live golf. It just doesn't hit the schedule like the other stuff does. So
I still think there's some opportunities to go and be a volunteer at one of their events and really get up and close.
Absolutely.
Guys. So something I'd like to do next year.
I agree 100%. I will do that with you, as a matter of fact. So Phil started talking again, as a matter of fact, with all this going on. And he said that the PGA Tour is trending downwards, and that he believes he'll be on the winning side with how the professional game is set to evolve. For a long, long time, my 30 years on the PGA Tour, pretty much all the best players played on the PGA Tour, at least for the last 20 years, he said. Mickelson also told everybody that that will never be the case again. I think going forward, you will have to pick a side. You have to pick what side you do think is going to be successful. And I firmly believe that I'm on the winning side of how things are going to evolve and shape in the coming years for pro golf.
But we're dividing instead of uniting.
Yeah.
I agree. He said that he's been reinvigorated. His scores don't show that, but he says he's been reinvigorated by the LIV golf experience. He also said he loves how players have been treated, and that LIV officials involve us and listen to us in decisions. I really want to see that.
We will see how long. Yeah, I was gonna say we will see how long that lasts, and whenever their contracts kind of get put into the spotlight in February, we will really see what's going on. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's been the complaint of the PGA Tour too, is that the players don't have that voice, right? So,
correct.
I mean, if that is true, now we've got two really big things that players always want more money. I get that, and a voice.
Yes, and they should have it. And we'll go back to several podcasts ago when we found out that the PGA Tour hired a go-between to step in between Monahan and the players. Tells me that Monahan is out of touch with them, because what do you need a go-between?
Yeah,
I don't understand that. If you're there as a commissioner working for the players, what's the problem?
Well, typically a go-between happens, like that envoy, when one party doesn't understand how to communicate well with the other party, or they just don't communicate well at all with each other.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm going to stand behind that. Monahan and Norman need to go in order for anything to evolve and for the game to truly grow and continue to evolve. Those two people can't have a part in it, because all they're doing is thumping their chests and pointing their fingers at the other one saying, I'm right, you're wrong. What is that going to do for anybody? Look at the
Right.
state of our political system right now. Right. So I can't see these two leading us into the future. It doesn't make sense to me why they would. Now, Norman doesn't have to answer to the players necessarily, right? He has to answer to the fund, in my opinion. Monahan has to answer to the players, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he has to.
I think I need a little research on that, but
maybe not. He doesn't have to, but like
to a point,
yeah.
Right.
I think the players could force this.
Here's my thing. Has Jay Monahan ever played golf before? Has he ever been a competitive golfer at any point? Why does
that I know of?
Why is the PGA Tour run by someone who's never ever competed in the business, never ever done? Like, to me, it just seems like if you want things to change, get someone in his position who has been on tour before, who has played competitive golf, and who has an idea of what players want, instead of just getting another middle-aged white businessman who's out of touch with his player base or his constituents, you know, to use a different word. He just seems out of touch, and he just doesn't understand what the players actually want.
Yeah. Like Commissioner Woods.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Commissioner Woods, Commissioner McElroy in like 20 years, you know?
Commissioner McElroy. Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't, you know, I mean, Tiger is a huge name, and I think he is not interested in a job like that, right? I think he's got other aspirations for golf. But can you imagine if he was the commissioner of the PGA? I mean, you talk about a powerhouse on top.
Yeah. And it's not like he's a bad businessman. I mean, he has multiple businesses that he's run successfully and that he started up. He's raised a ton of money for charity. You know, a lot of these top golfers have their own businesses, successful businesses. It just seems, you know, like a lot of things, you just get someone at the top who really doesn't belong in the first place.
Mike, Aaron, have we ever seen that in our history together before? All right. Anyway, well, I mean, I agree, and I don't know who that name is at the top of the PGA Tour, but yeah, I don't think it's Jay. Sorry, Jay. You're not.
And again, I mean, Greg Norman too. I mean, he's a golfer, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's fully in it for the business side of it. You know,
I think he's had a vendetta for 30 years.
He has. It's personal for him.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's in it for LIV, but I think he's in it to LIV so he can stick it to the PGA Tour. That's what I think Greg Norman's after. So, and I may be wrong, you know, but it's the way it looks.
Yeah, I just for me, I'd like to nominate Fred Couples.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a great thing.
Freddie be great. Speaking of Freddie, he just won a tournament on the Champions Tour. It's been 5 years, 3 months, and 21 days since his last victory when he won. And he closed the front nine with 5 straight birdies.
Nice.
And on the back nine, he made 5 in a row. He shot a 60.
Holy
60.
crap.
Wow.
Right. This is on fire.
A 60 to win. He birdied 17th for 6 consecutive birdie to get to 11 under. All he needed was a hole out eagle on 18 to break 60. He didn't do it, but that's okay. He said he feels like he played some of the best golf of his life. One of the best rounds of his life there.
That's awesome. That's someone you can just watch that man swing a golf club for hours.
Yeah, he's got a sweet swing.
It's just ridiculous.
It's so smooth and fluid.
So smooth.
It's just, you know, and half the time you're watching him and you go, oh, he swung and the ball, it's 4 feet away. That's going to be, but I mean, just like it just, you know, real calm.
He's got one of the best moments of the Players Championship where he, you know, on 17 or what's the part? Is it 16? The island green at the Players.
16.
Yeah, he puts his first shot in the water and then holes out for par.
Drops another ball.
Great.
He 10 cups it, drops another ball, holes out. They're like, is that a hole one? Nope.
No,
it's not.
Nope, it's a 3.
But it's a good par. It's a damn good par.
It's a solid par.
So Dick Mast, who is 71 years old, qualified on Tuesday for that tournament
Good
by
for
shooting
him.
66.
Good for him.
All right.
71-year-old shoots a 66.
That's
5
cool.
shots better than his age. He shot 78, 74, 72 to finish 73rd. But to just make it in on a Tuesday qualifier in Champions Tour by shooting less than your age is pretty cool, right? You got to love that. The
really
Schwab
awesome.
Cup. The Schwab Cup is up for the Champions Tour next. They have 3 events left: the Dominion Energy Charity Classic in Richmond, Virginia, the TimberTech Championship at the Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club in Boca Raton, and then the Charles Schwab Cup Championship at the Phoenix Country Club in Phoenix.
Schwab.
Who is the defending champion of that event?
I have no idea.
Phil Mickelson.
Oh.
Yeah,
his champion tour run cut short.
Yeah, just a little bit. Ooh, cool story. I just finished John Daly's book last week. It's an interesting listen or read, depending on what you're doing to it. Quite the character. And apparently Jonah Hill is going to be playing him in a biopic.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh, okay. All right. Any more on the Netflix golf?
Oh my God.
No, nothing. I haven't found. I've looked recently, and there's nothing on it. I would imagine probably not until next year, like late next year at the latest, or at the earliest. I would say maybe 2024. We could see that roll around.
No, we better not wait till 2024. We better not. I mean, Netflix, if you're listening, I know you're not, but you should be. If you're listening, get this shit rolled out now.
Or give us,
unedited, uncut, do something.
Well, no, make it, if you have to make it multi-season or multi-part or whatever, go ahead.
Do you need a commentator?
Yes.
I could help.
What do you need?
Do
you need 3 regular hackers to let you know what to say, what to do, and what parts you should put on? We're your guys.
Yep, we got that. So.
And you don't have to pay us LIV money. We'll do it for free.
Give me something. Feed me, maybe.
Yes, feed me. So remember in August, Monahan announced the first 9 elevated events for this season that we're in, which is the last wraparound season. If you didn't remember, it's the Players Championship, the 3 FedEx Cup playoff stops, the St. Jude Championship, BMW, and Tour Championship, the 3 Invitationals, the Genesis, Arnold Palmer, and Memorial, and the WGC Dell Technologies Match Play, and the Century Tournament of Champions. So along with the newly added Phoenix Open, they're thinking it's going to be the RBC Heritage and the Wells Fargo Championship and Travelers Championship will also be elevated.
Those would all make sense.
Yeah, absolutely, they would. There's not a lot of information that I could find about, are these going to be the same elevated events year after year? The thought process is it's not. That they're going to change some, if not all of these events. I think like the Memorial, Arnold Palmer, Genesis will always be there. I think those should be elevated because those are pretty outstanding.
The Memorial's a big tournament. It's near and dear to us because it's near to us. So.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it could be a good way to reinvigorate some of the smaller stops on tour, take it away from the waste management or the, something along those lines and give it to one of the smaller events held through the year to attract higher ranking players and attract more people to it.
Right. So along with the elevated events, players have to play 3 other events that are not elevated so that they can continue to have a draw at these tournaments and fulfill contractual obligations with the sponsors, I would believe. But it also puts a twist on it because Ron was like, I get it. I understand it. It's going to be really hard to do that and still contribute to the European Tour, DP World Tour, which is, where he's from. And he likes to, along with other players, Morikawa will play out there. Rory will play out there. Billy Horschel. A lot of these players will play on the DP events on the DP World Tour. Now you're talking about 24, 25 events a year, more travel. That's not what they want.
Right.
So,
but there's nothing forcing you. Right? It's optional.
It's just the money.
That's right. I get it, but it's an option. So I didn't like the option. Okay, how about this? Just a radical plan. Don't take the option.
Right.
Well, no, I want to complain about the option. Oh, that's what you want to do. Okay. All right. How about
Look,
we don't want to listen to you?
the best players in the world are still on a PGA Tour. Right? There's a couple of them that are on LIV now. A handful, 5, 6 players, right? If you look at the strength of field that the PGA Tour can put together on any event, it's how much stronger than anything LIV can put out. 10 times stronger, 20 times stronger. It's a lot stronger.
Right. Okay.
So the players still want to play with the best and not get, this is my thought, not get tempted by the money of LIV and still play a little bit less golf. So maybe 17's the wrong number. Maybe it's 15 and they play 5 events on the other tour. But since the tours are kind of linked, I don't have a problem with, hey, the Scottish Open is one of those elevated events now. Or
that'd be cool.
a couple of the other ones on the DP World Tour, they elevate. So
I mean,
allow them to go back and forth a little bit more.
Sure. You know, again, I have a hard time. Here is a great way for you to make a lot more money by playing in these elevated events. We've got just a few restriction around it. Oh, that's just, I don't know if I can do that. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
And I would imagine the best players in the world, like your Justin Thomases and Jordan Spieth, Victor Hovland, you know, these guys, they're going to want to play as many events as they possibly can. You know, these people, they're not going to complain about playing too much golf because they want to win. They want to win majors, and that's what they're there for. You know what I mean? The money is just a good bonus to everything else, but they want to make history.
Yep.
Right. And it's hard to make history on LIV after year 1 because you can no longer say, I was the first to win. I was the first to win this event. Who cares if you're second to win an event, right? Does it matter? I don't think it does.
Right.
And my knock with LIV is, what are you playing for? Money. That's it. What kind of history does LIV have? I know you have to build it. You got to start somewhere. Right.
It's easy for Phil to say because he's already a Hall of Fame golfer. He's already one of the best that's ever played the game. So he has that. He's already on a pedestal above almost everyone else on that field. So it's easy for him to say, you know, stuff like that. But everyone else, they haven't done anything yet. So
But again, it's the age-old question, right? I mean, you go back and you say, okay, what's the priority?
Sure.
You know, and if you're not interested, if you can give up the mystique and the prestige, right, of those historical events and everything, and the excitement of building something and a lot of money kind of gets you going, okay, then maybe this is a place. But understand, just like we were talking, you got options: win more money, not have historic majors,
right,
or potentially win less money, but just throw that crazy pitch one day and win a Masters. I mean, that's the decision right now, and these guys are having to make it. So,
so if I had to put your feet to the fire, who's your favorite golfer on LIV?
Probably Cameron Smith.
Pep Perez. Oh no. I'd go with that too, Aaron.
I always liked watching him play. He was one of my favorite golfers on the PGA Tour. He's a fun, dynamic presence on tour. He was, probably the best short game player on tour when he was playing, and it was just fun to watch.
I agree with that. And I think that Bryson was probably second because you never knew what he was going to do week to week, right? Is he going to
It's a good one too.
Bomb it long enough to really make the golf course obsolete? And outside of those two, maybe throw DJ in there, but DJ was getting kind of blah to watch. His descent from number 1, when it started happening, it was fast, right?
It was a flame out.
It just didn't look like the same player. So
Bryson, who has played 2 more events than Cam Smith, is 25th on the LIV Golf money list, whereas Cam is 11th.
Cam had the win.
Cam have the win.
Yeah.
Bryson hasn't really done much on LIV, right? So I know he's dealing with injuries and stuff like that still, but he's just not showing up. He's going to fall out of the top 50 in world golf rankings. I don't want to throw official out there because I don't want to upset anybody on LIV Golf because,
Well, I mean, the long and the short of it there is that they're all going to slide down that list until something is resolved. So, I mean, it's just going to be the way
They're
of
going to have to
things.
live with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
look at you go with the pun.
uh,
They're gonna have to live with it.
Aaron, come on. That was
He's
You
like,
good.
got a smile and a head shake.
Oh, it was good though.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
But so this weekend we've got some good weather coming in. Are we gonna be able to get some golf in? You tried all
Hopefully.
day to get us some tee time.
We are. Hopefully they open up tomorrow. I mean, I understand them not being in the clubhouse today. It was a real crappy
Yeah.
late
Real
fall,
crappy.
early winter day. It seemed like well,
gonna be
it's still just
70
early fall.
70 degrees this weekend. Sunny, sunny.
I'm off on
Yeah.
Friday, so I'll be playing Friday as well, and I'll play Saturday. I play Sunday.
Nice.
And hopefully do some good stuff. We did get to play in a new simulator that's here in town, Jeff. What's the name of that place?
Yeah, so let's make sure we get it right because I want to give kudos to the business itself. And of course, now I can't draw my unlock code on my phone because I'm an idiot. It is the Defiance Putt Putt Fun Center. That is its official title. We always call it Putt Putt Golf and Games out on North 66. I gotta say, I played on a few different simulators. I like their simulator.
Yeah, same. The one thing I liked a lot was that it had realistic like terrain. You know, if you were in the bunker, you didn't just get to hit it out with no penalty. You had to kind of play it like you were in a real bunker.
Right, swing for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's relatively new. It's new this year for them. Lisa Beecher is the owner operator out there. We actually got to meet her. She was out there Saturday. So tip of the cap that I don't have on to Lisa. Got a great place going. They've got laser tag and putt putt golf and go-karts and all kinds of stuff. But the only thing I saw really was the simulator. So
Yes,
it does more than just golf. So
it does disc golf, it does soccer, it does
baseball.
hockey, it does baseball. It's a pretty cool sim. If you're anyone not named Jeff, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't like my ball flight. I have a very low launch angle, and if it gets me in trouble sometimes on golf courses, but always gets me in trouble
on
in
a
the
simulator. Yeah.
yeah,
always.
every time. So we were talking about a stat that I had seen on Annika and her dominance. I found the stat. So on the LPGA tour from 1995 to 2006, she had 250 starts, 69 wins, 191 top tens,
That's
and
crazy.
five miscuts.
Only
191 top tens
Only 5 miscuts.
and 5 miscuts and 65 wins.
That's crazy.
That's pretty dominant. That's Tiger-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd
and
say.
I'll bring up the Tiger set that we talked about at the simulator because that's just one of those. That's just another mind-boggling Tiger Woods stat. So, the best score to par in majors. So this is from 1997 to 2009, and bear in mind, every player on this list had to have played at least 70 rounds in majors. Tiger Woods is 134 under par. The next person in line is Phil Mickelson. He is 99 over par. That is the margin. That is how dominant Tiger Woods was from 1997 to 2009 in majors. Insane.
12 years, and that's 280 stroke difference.
Yeah, that's why. And then Ernie Els is third at 118 over par.
Funny you bring up Tiger Woods. I just started the Big Miss, Hank Haney's book on his time with Tiger. So I'm anxious to get into the book. I'm only a couple chapters in right now. It's pretty good. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Still think if you haven't read the book or listened to it, The Greatest Game Ever Played, lots of history. It's an awesome listen and or read. So I highly suggest that to everybody else that's out there. And before I forget, and I should have done this at the beginning. God dang. Appreciate everybody for watching us on YouTube and starting to transition over from the audio portion only. We really love that. Do us a favor, if you would, just give us a like and a subscribe and throw some comments in there. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to talk with you, and we'll respond to everybody, right? So it's a good thing. So thank you again. We really appreciate it. Aaron and I are still trying to work out the kinks on the website. Hopefully we'll get that done this week. It's just some problems with the provider that we're using. We'll get it figured out so that we can get that up and running. And then we got a couple things coming on there. Jeff is likes to write, and we'll be doing a blog on the website, so that'll be available to everybody. And I talked to remember Mike from Alf's Kitchen, who we had on.
Yeah.
I floated an idea out there and said, hey, would you mind doing something where we maybe record your progress as you go through this new golfer phase of trying to learn everything at one time and put it implement into your new swing.
Yep.
And then talk about your frustrations, maybe do a blog there. And he said he'd be thrilled to do that. So
Excellent.
get the perspective from a new golfer on what's going on, because he's so down the rabbit hole. Every time we talk about anything, it goes to what he learned, what he's doing, what he's working on, what he's transitioning. And I think it's fantastic. And it'd be good for everybody, right? To hear what that story looks like.
Yeah. I think, we're getting late in the year. We've talked about, getting in better physical condition, weight loss, conditioning, strengthening. So, maybe there's
golf specific stuff, especially, right? So I was thinking about starting this in January, but I got to tell you, I'm kind of feeling like a slug, and I don't think I'm going to wait. So something we'll talk about off air.
I feel your pain there.
To maybe start a little bit sooner and get things going. I just don't like the way I'm feeling lately. We're not playing much golf because of the weather and schedules, things like that. I am hitting in the garage again. I got the net set up. I know, Aaron, you got your net set up. So cool. You guys are always welcome over here. We can even film here, and that would be fun. Everybody can see our swings, right? We're not pros, and we don't claim to be the greatest golfers in the world. Sometimes we put some good stuff together. Other times we look really ugly. So it's kind of common man, everyman golf. Woman, when you include Mary in that, and Mary, who wants to get better, wants to lower that handicap, and
she always has a goal.
So good for her. Get her some speed going, maybe, and see how that goes.
I've tried to get her to yoga. I think what she needs is flexibility, because she winds that swing. It's too short. It's not. I want to see a longer swing arc for her. Because she doesn't have the height, so she's got to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. Aaron and I worked on some grip changes, or some grip thoughts anyway.
Yeah,
right,
no, I think that's going to really help me, to be honest. I think that was a big part of my game that I would highly encourage. If people have a big right miss, I would look at your grip, because it's probably your grip that's affecting it. So
if
I was playing.
If you want to learn more about it. Yeah, if you want to learn more about it, go to Matt Walters on YouTube. He's got probably like a 12-minute video on it, explaining the neutral grip, the strong grip, the weak grip, and why you should choose one over the other. And it's all about how quickly you can get your hips rotated, and rotation in general, right, Aaron?
Yeah, and I don't really. Again, my hands tend to be a little bit behind me, so with a stronger grip, I can kind of negate that and still hit a nice straight ball, or ideally a draw. I'd like to get my draw back. I don't know how. That was the shot shape that I had off the rip when I started playing golf again, and I don't know where it went or how I lost it, but it's gone. It is gone.
I actually probably should take some responsibility for that. I know we messed with your grip a while ago to make just to help you, right? Because you weren't able to clear fast enough, or you get your hands through fast enough. And I think your swing has improved enough to where we need to go back and look at the overall picture, including your swing plane. I'd like to still focus a little bit on your plane, especially in your downswing, getting that shallowed out, right? And if we change your grip and get it a little bit stronger, I think it'll help you totally avoid that miss. And the thing that we all need to do better of is take one part of the golf course, one side, out of play. We need to be consistent about getting a ball in play that's not, in the tree line, or just so deep in the rough it's impossible for us to get it out. Something to think about as we progress through the winter. And I'm going to keep working on that swing. I've been picking up my front heel, which is helping me rotate better and faster. And I didn't do it in the simulator, but I will do it next time we play. I make better contact with the ball, and it allows me to get my hips rotated faster and get through the ball, and I make really good contact when I do it. So I just haven't done it on the course yet. So lots of things coming. Again, we appreciate everybody. You guys got anything else before we close out tonight?
I got nothing crazy. It's
I
gross
do not.
outside.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It is nasty. We will do some filming when we play this weekend, get some shorts out there for you guys so you can pick us apart and challenge us to get better. We're looking forward to your comments. And again, if you haven't done so already, we'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. As we start moving and transitioning indoors, we will start filming more about what we're doing indoors, what we're working on, and what it looks like for you. So thanks again, everybody. I hope you have a great week and a great weekend, and hit them straight.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.